what does it actually look like being the first person in your family to actually think differently?
That's a deep one for me. It's cost me my dad. My dad is still alive. It has to do with religion, where I gave my life to Christ and then announced to my dad. And my dad said, I have two options. Either I come back to it and still be a part of the family, or I follow Christianity and leave his house. So yeah, I think my dad struggled with that decision until finally he asked me to leave the house, and I did. So yeah, it's cost me my dad. Okay, so what made me to not want that was because there was no satisfaction in Islam. And at the age of 16 in 2019, I already started feeling a void in my heart. Prior to that time, I'd always been the head girl, where I just think from the top of my head. It was never really that deep for me. But when I got to the age of 16, things started becoming deep. So I was supposed to do my pre-degree in Uni Abuja, and then my dad was driving myself, my mom, and my cousin Miriam to school. And then I was just looking out of the window, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, so after school, I'm going to get married, bear children, and that will be it for me. I could not comprehend what the life in front of me was going to be like. And for someone who had a very promising future, the pre-degree was supposed to lead me to study medicine. My dad was working it out. And then I got to school. There was this wave of depression. And for someone who had always been academic, I loved reading books. I lost interest in reading. I lost interest in playing, laughing. I was very much withdrawn. And then one day someone came to our room in school. Her name is Ruth. And then in the bid to laugh, I just wanted to laugh out my sorrow. And then I was like, please, do you have exploits comedy? Because it was exploits that were doing it for me that period. And then I was like, do you have their comedy? She was like, I have a lot of them. And then I was like, please send them to me. And then she sent them to me, quite a number. And I think she mistakenly sent a clip of Apostle Joshua Selman. And so I sent the comedy to my bunkie princess to her system, and then I went to the top of her bunk, and we started watching. So we would watch, laugh, and then all this crazy stuff, hit our hair, clap our hands. And when we got to Apostle Joshua Selman's part, I'm sorry, I immediately we saw him. We were like, who be this one? Because he was on skin. He was very molo. Permits me to say. We're like, who be this? And then we removed it, and then we continued. So when we were done, I honestly did not know what prompted me to go back to that message. So I just went under my bunk. I brought down my nets. We had Muslims in the room, so I didn't want them to know what I was watching. So I wore my earpiece, and then I watched. And then he was talking about the law of absolute surrender. Trust me, it made absolutely no sense to my senses then, but I could feel the message. I just knew there was something different about this man. And then he spoke about the law of absolute surrender, the mystery behind the making of giants. And then he sang a song, I give you my everything, I lay my everything. Lord, please have my everything. At that point in my life, what I needed was for God to have my everything, because I could not think for myself anymore. Things I had passion for, I realized the passion were fading. And so after watching, I cried. I was not crying. Cry is when you water streaming down my eyes. And then after the experience, I listened to this song. I had someone playing it. What Can I Do Without You by Ty Tree Beds. I give you my heart, I give you my mind, I give you my soul. So I took the song Apostle Selman sang, and then Ty Tree Beds song. I'm sorry, let me mention that while he was preaching, he knelt down in front of the congregation. This is not where two or three are gathered. You know about someone's congregation. And for someone who had been to prophetic churches, because my mom had taken me to one or two prophetic churches, all those, do I know who you are? Have you seen me before? You could sense, even as a Muslim, you could sense the pride and arrogance, and it was, I resented those kinds of men of God. And then for Apostle Selman, I was like, such depth of humility. And then I picked those two songs. I went to basketball court in the girls' hostel. And then I just knelt down. I said, God, I don't know the way. I don't know if it's Islam or Christianity. But what I know is I want a God in my life. And then I cried, I cried, I cried. I sang those songs. What can I do without you? And even though it didn't really make sense to me, and then I cried myself to a point where I got really exhausted and I lay down on the ground. I just lay down there. And it was when my eyes were shut that I had the encounter. There was this figure in front of me, his leg was suspended, but then I could not see his face. It felt like he was covered in light. And then he had this creature. It didn't really have a human form, but it was close by. And then he held something that felt like a basket. And then he asked the question again. He said, "Are you sure? Are you really sure you want to give me your all?" Somebody that has been crying, "I give him my all, I give him my all." I could not answer the question because flashes came to my head on, I knew my dad would disown me. I knew I was going to lose my family. So I started round two of cry again. I started crying. The thought of it. And you know, the beautiful thing about God is God will present you with the options. The devil will just say, take, and he will make you see all the pleasures you can get from it without the circumstance, without the consequences. But God will make you see the consequences of your actions. And then when at some point I said, yes, Lord. And then it felt like there was an exchange. Mind you, he didn't talk to me. It felt like his thoughts were diffused into me because no voice was heard, but I could hear him. And then it felt like there was an exchange, my heart, my mind, and my soul. And then afterwards, it felt like a burden was lifted. After that exchange, it was much later I discovered there is a scripture that says, "For a heart of stone, I will give you a heart of flesh." I didn't know it was scripture at the time. So I went back to my hostel. Long story cut short, went back home. My dad got to find out, got a family meeting, and said, "Halima, that thing you said to your mom, I want you to repeat it in front of the family." And then I said, "Daddy, I'm sorry. I'm currently a Christian." And then I was trying, someone who had had this experience, something I'd never seen a vision before. So I was trying to explain it to my dad that this was what I saw. This was it felt like a fairy tale to him. My dad, for the first time in my 16 years of existence, I saw my dad cry. My dad is a strong man. My dad is a strong Abraham Muslim. So I saw him cry for the first time, and we did a little bit of Nollywood. My mom joined, I joined, and we were all crying. And then when he was able to get himself together, he told me, he said, "Halima, 5 things I'm just going to list 2. He said, "You're no longer my daughter. I'm no longer your father. Secondly, if you ever get to a point in life where you don't see the necessity of your surname, this family surname, erase it from your name." And then when he was done talking, I was like, "Daddy, you always be my father. You always be my father, and I appreciate the sacrifices and everything you've done for me." And then he gave me some cash and asked me to leave the house the next day. That if he comes back from work, he shouldn't meet me in the house. So that was how I left my dad for the first time.
This is really, really crazy, Uh, I don't really know what to say, but
For every family, there is always a child that is different. Like
yeah,
except if the whole children are so scared to want to, even though like it doesn't matter how strict the parents are, there is just this particular child that feels like there is more to me, there is more to what I can do. This place, I just feel so out of place, or I just feel like I could expand a lot. And somehow you just find that in each family there is a black sheep, either for good or for bad. There
Yeah.
is always a black sheep. That particular child that's saying no, I will not go like this, and that child is constantly rebelling. So it is like something inbuilt that one child will feel out of place, will feel like there is so much more in me that my parents are putting me in cage, that I do not want this. I want to express myself. I want to live my life to the fullest of my potentials. So that's, I think that's it for every average Nigerian family, basically.
Like a struggle of, you know, do this, and it's looking like, I think what I'll call it is, to be successful in a typical African home, you'd have to be rebellious. I'd not like to quote it as something else. You'd have to go against the rules, play differently, because personally, you know, there were crazy things I had to do. You know, my dad wanted me to school in my hometown, and I knew that the people that of my hometown, I don't like the way they think, the way they dress, the way they talk. I needed to go to a place where I would, meet people, have that exposure.
Yeah.
Because I always saw myself as somebody that would inspire people, from a very early age. I knew that God wanted me to, become somebody that a lot of persons would look up to, somebody that a lot of persons would be inspired by. So I needed, there's a training, there's a kind of training I needed. I needed to just get out of the house, do this, do that, do that, do that. Sometimes they'll go as far as saying, look at this person, and all of that. So, when I went to pick my jam, my dad said that this is how it's going to be. You're going to go here, this is how you do it, this is how you do it. On the day I went there, I wanted to go to Lagos last week, but after jam and all the score,
Nigeria happened.
so I needed to change my the institution. So where else would I go for meet? And then I used to hear of KSU, that is now POW. I used to hear of it. Great people are there, they're doing things, they're doing this, that, and all. So when I went there, I told the guy that he should register for this university for me. So, as at then, they were already processing to change the name to something else. I don't know how it happened, but he didn't put KSU because I wanted to go, and I picked Federal University, but in the same Kogi state. So that's how I got out. I came to school. I started my journey, and here we are. All right. So it was really a struggle. Most times I didn't go home for breaks because what am I going home to do?
Exactly.
I needed the hours to read. If I'm at home, Zion, come wash the car, come do the dishes, come cook this, come do that, come do that. Those things are things I'm supposed to do as a child. But I'm a young man. There's somewhere I'm going. I need to invest in reading. I need to invest in a whole lot. Go and get this for me from here. Go and tell this woman this. Go and do that. The thought of it, I said, no, 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 I'm not going for break. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So I stayed back. And, my parents didn't send me food stuff because I refused to go home. That's how I stayed, fried gari, a lot of crazy stuff happened that time, you know.
I think that
Yeah.
something parents do, that's an average Nigerian family, is when you start being very different. first, it start looking like rebellion. Secondly, when they start noticing that, okay, maybe this thing has something in it, they will
Yeah.
not believe in you.
No, 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 no.
Honestly, they will not believe in you. They will
Until it
not put
starts producing results.
Yeah.
exactly. So there are certain things that most parents do not talk about, or they are not ready to talk about to their children. Number one, sex education.
All right.
They will not talk about these things because they
The
were not taught.
typical African
They
parents
were
want.
not taught. And
Yeah.
I feel like it is something that you should be telling us, that's your children, from as early as possible. But we tend to learn about this outside, and we see how much of the
The,
repercussions
the,
it
the
causes.
impact is very bad.
Another thing is financial literacy. Now, they do not even understand this thing to want to tell you this is what to do and how to do. A lot of parents don't understand risk, except maybe your mother is a businesswoman, your father is a businessman. They do not understand risk or financial literacy. This is what to do, how to get money, how to invest your money, and all of that. They all believe the rat race. You go to school, finish from this school, get a job. Even if you do not get the job, God will do
Hmm.
it. You
They
will
are they
get
are
the
ready
So
job.
to
much
pray for
faith.
months. Yeah.
God
They are ready
will
to
do
pray for
it.
months
Just
and
and
all.
get the job.
Yeah.
Once you've gotten the job, your younger siblings, they are there waiting for you. Oh yeah,
You're now
come and take
train them.
responsibilities for your younger siblings. As you are doing that one, go and get married though. You are no longer old though. This and this and this. You have to still get married. Okay, you have gotten married with that same how much thousand naira job that you are doing. You have to fend for your younger siblings. Your parents are still there. Obviously, they are old. You still have to take care of them.
You still have to.
From where? And then that's why a lot of us get burnt out, because there is so much inside of us that we were not given the platform, the capacities, the capabilities to bring out these
To bring out.
potentials. And you see a lot of young potentials dying with whatever it is they have inside, because they were so much. "Oh, my parents feel this thing I am doing is not the right thing. My parents feel this thing I am doing is a waste of time."
My parents feel.
Exactly. So for
Yeah.
me, I do not like where I'm coming from, because I see how my parents have. I'm talking as in the aspect of financial literacy now. I grew up in a house where the verbal programming was, I don't have money. I do not have money. This money is not for this one. Hey, money is hard though. Like that kind of scarcity mindset, that's where I'm coming from. I have seen specific incidents in my house that made me start seeing money as something that I was supposed to worship, something that I have to spend the whole of my life looking for. And also, I saw how my parents modeled their financial life. It wasn't good. I had to tell myself at some point that we cannot continue like this. You can't keep thinking that money is the ultimate goal. And that's something that kind of ruined our parents. They just thought, I have to make enough money, more money and more money and more money. And you forget that you are here for a purpose. You forget that there's a reason why God kept you here, or this is where God has told you to go and take dominion. Your sole purpose has become money. So me, I do not like where I'm coming from, and that's why I rebelled. Let me use that language. I rebelled.
We're proud rebels, right?
Very proud.
All right, so we've come a very long way. All right, so finally, I'd want to ask. Now,
I'm sorry. I would love to add something. There was something you highlighted, right? You said whenever you go home, your dad will say, Ochiba, right? Come and wash car. Come and do this. Come and do that. You see, that's one system. Permit me to say that's the system the devil is trying to choke us with. So many things. You're busy doing so many things that you're not doing anything significant. And if you check in the scriptures, when I think Moses went to Pharaoh, and then he told Pharaoh to release the people, that the cry of the children of Israel has gotten to the ears of the Lord. What was the strategy? He said, give them more work. It's not because they are free that they are crying to God. If they have more work, they wouldn't even think they're in bondage. So exactly, you will just be doing children's duty. Go and wash plates. And it's even worse for daughters. Go and do this. Go and do this. Go and do that. And you know your husband's house again. You see that there is really no space in order for you to create space for yourself. You know you have to touch certain buttons.
Thank you so so much for adding that up. All right, so final words. We have a renewed mind. I'd call this kind of a person a transformed person. We're going to talk about leadership sometime in this podcast. I called some leaders untransformed leaders, and I called some leaders transformed leaders. All right. So as a transformed person that has a sound mind, what are the things you'd advise young people out there, how to bring their children up so that they don't, limit their capacities, and they don't, choke them, put them in a cage, put them in a boundary. Now we are young people, and everybody will say, do this, do that, that, that. But in a way, they see a way that will still build walls around them. So, what's your advice to them? How do they, like your parenting pattern now, how do you feel like somebody with a renewed mind should raise a child so that you don't have to follow this generational pattern?
Okay, so for you to have a renewed mind that you start parenting, you have to parent yourself. Because your parents definitely did not equip you enough with things to know or how to help you renew your mind. You found that part yourself. You do it yourself. First thing I would say is practice out those things that you wished your parents had did or had done rightly. Practice them out with you. Be the parent of yourself, because you cannot bring a child, or you say, I'm learning all of these things for when I bring a child. Exactly, you are the lab rat here. How you turn out shows either you failed yourself or you didn't fail yourself. You're not blaming your parents or anything your parents did. There's nothing like my father caused this, my mother. No.
Now it's your
You're an adult. Exactly. If you do not turn out fine, your children definitely will not turn out fine. You will repeat the same pattern. And something I would also like to add to with the youth is, don't try to prove yourself to anybody. Run with time. Be very patient. Nobody is saying, I want to be this so hard, so my parents see that they were wrong about me and all of that. No, that is a very crazy mindset.
We are
to
not
actually
active for
work
any
with.
stage.
Exactly. Just calm down, keep your head low. In the game, you're on the right path here. Seek knowledge, seek mentorship, speak to people that have like minds like you. Someone told me that yesterday. Speak to people within that same field that you do have, and that will help you a lot. The trick is to have, the end goal is to end up successful and have a very successful family. That at the end of the day, my children will be, I bless God for my mother, I bless God for my father. That's the goal.
we really do not, So let's hear from you.
Actually, Billionaire Joy has said it all. You see, the thing with African home is they brood children. I always say they brood children. They didn't train children. We were not given all the equipment we needed. So, first thing I would say is, before you can bring anybody up in the way you think should be, you should first be the person, like she said. But how do you become the person? Since she has answered from the other arm, I'm going to answer from this angle. How do you become that person? Now, identify the things, the limitations in your family. Is it financial illiteracy? Is it emotional dullness? Permit me to say, is it bitterness? Is it trauma? You highlight this thing. These are steps, actions you can take. Highlight this thing, and then don't just jump into them and start, listening to podcasts. You're listening to a podcast on relationship today, tomorrow, emotional intelligence, next tomorrow. No, you do a systematic pattern of
Exactly, be
refining.
structured.
It's called transforming. It's a process. So you get books. If your priority is financial literacy, you get books, like she said, you get podcasts, you get messages. You build a body of truth around that knowledge. And then when you see that you've been fortified in that knowledge, then you can forge ahead to the others. This is how you build the kind of person you want your children to be proud of.